Well, good morning. It is a great day in Nebraska. It's a great day for Nebraska Farm Bureau, and I would say a great day for Jim Pillen. I am Mark McCarg, president of Nebraska Farm Bureau. I have beside me and around me several of the board members of Nebraska Farm Bureau, and we are excited to talk about the direction that the Nebraska is going to go and how we're going to work together to make agriculture the forefront of who Nebraska is. I want to talk briefly about what Nebraska Farm Bureau is. It's the state's largest farm bureau, our largest farm organization. We take great pride in the fact that we are a grassroots organization. The issues in Nebraska facing agriculture are significant, they're challenging, they change on a regular basis, and because of that complexity, it's important that farmers and ranchers work very closely with elected representatives that understand agriculture. It's for this reason that Nebraska Farm Bureau has a political action committee to work to elect folks that understand agriculture and that we can work with in a strong synergy. It's important that not only do representatives understand agriculture, it's important that they can carry a strong voice for Nebraska farmers and ranchers. And with that in mind, it is my great pleasure on behalf of Nebraska Farm Bureau PAC to officially announce Nebraska Farm Bureau's endorsement of Jim Pillen in the Republican gubernatorial primary. I think it's really important that everyone understand that we don't take jumping into a primary in the governor's race lightly. Matter of fact, we poll all of our counties and we ask them specifically, number one, do you want to get involved in the governor's race? And number two, who would that be? And I would say resoundingly, our counties said, absolutely, we need to get involved because the next governor of Nebraska is critically important to agriculture, and they resoundingly said, Jim Pillen's the guy to carry that job, to do that job. I also think it's important to take a minute and just talk about why our members thought that Jim Pillen should be the guy. And I'm going to talk about just a couple different things. I'm going to talk about Jim Pillen as the person. And it's interesting, Jim and I farm about 45 miles apart. We're both involved in pork production, but our circles didn't really cross that much. We knew who each other were, and had met a few different times, but really, I didn't know Jim that well. And I thought, it's important for myself, the president of Nebraska Farm Bureau, to get to know the candidates that are running for this office. So Jim and I sat down, I think it was late summer, for a couple hours over supper. And my questions to Jim were things about what make you tick? Who are you as a person? What do you value? What do you think about Nebraska? And there's a couple of things that I think that resoundingly came out to me and also to our members. First of all, Jim Pillen is a Nebraskan and he has deep roots in Nebraska. The fact that he comes from agriculture, he clearly gets agriculture. It's difficult to replace growing up on a farm and being involved in that experience that brings. The fact that he has a family business, he's grown a business in Nebraska. I understand that, I appreciate that, and our members certainly appreciate that. We had quite a conversation that night about rural communities and how to grow our communities and the importance of that both in the rural and urban areas, different strategies of how that needs to happen to ensure that Nebraska stays strong. And I would also say you don't have to talk to Jim very long to figure out pretty quick that he's a fiscal conservative. I appreciate that, our members appreciate that. And then I just want to close with, as a person, I think Jim's a very good listener. And I think that is so important when you get into politics that you have someone that will actually listen to what you're saying versus formulating an answer and not listening. Our members understood that. I picked that up very quickly. And then finally, I think it's important, and our members thought, as a person, that we have a common sense Nebraskan that's going to lead our state in a no-nonsense way. Now, let me flip over to the other side as a candidate. Who is Jim Pillen as a candidate? What did our members see for Jim Pillen as a candidate? Well, first of all, we know that the next governor needs to address taxes and school funding reform, and Jim Pillen absolutely supports education. We have to have a strong educational system in Nebraska, but at the same time, he understands that we have a broken tax system and it's out of balance, and that we need to continue to work on fixes that take away the over-reliance on property tax. He also knows that we need to create an environment for business to grow and flourish, and he understands that to do that, we have to have e-connectivity across the state. And it's impossible for us to grow Nebraska without continuing to grow e-connectivity, whether that be cellular or broadband. And then finally, Jim fully understands that in Nebraska and in agriculture, we absolutely have to add value to the crops we grow and the animals we grow and what we do in agriculture. And whether that be adding value here in the state by growing our processing, our manufacturing, all the different things that go along with that, or adding value by sending our products into the international market. One thing can be clear, though, Jim Pillen understands agriculture. He understands that agriculture is the largest part of our state's economy. He understands that 25% of our workforce is involved in agriculture. And he fully understands that if agriculture does well, our state does well, and he's committed to building a climate where farmers and ranchers and the business owners have the freedom to operate in the way that they need to in order to grow and prosper. So it's for all of these reasons we believe Jim Pillen is the candidate best suited to be the voice for farm and ranch families. So now I'm going to turn the podium over to Sherry Vinton. Sherry is Nebraska Farm Bureau's Vice President. She's the Chairman of Nebraska Farm Bureau PAC, and she's going to say a few words. Sherry?
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here this morning to give our endorsement to Jim Pillen. I want to emphasize our process is grassroots. I'm a rancher. I live in the Sandhills of Nebraska, but I do come to Lincoln and I chair this committee. And we've received input from our county farm bureaus from every corner of this state. And I can tell you there was overwhelming consensus to endorse Jim Pillen in this race. We spent a lot of time, and our members spent a lot of time discerning this process. As many of you may remember, we held a forum in Kearney in December prior to our annual meeting. Our members had the opportunity to get to know all of the candidates then, and they have spent time throughout this season learning about the candidates. We surveyed all of them, we waited for their input, and we compiled the data and the comments. And as I said, I think that from every corner of this state, our members recognized that Jim Pillen has the demonstrated character, courage, and conviction to lead Nebraska and make sure that our good life continues to be the great life. So with that, here's the man himself. Thank you, Jim.
Well, good morning, everybody, and I first just have to say to Mark and Sherry and to the board, thank you very, very much. Your endorsement's a big deal. It's a big deal for our campaign, and for me personally, when I start hoeing a little bit close to the corn stalk, this is one of these days you say, holy cow, how does something like this happen to a kid that grew up on a tenant farm west of Platte Center on the end of a pitchfork and scoop shovel? And so the support is overwhelming. We have since the calling before Easter to throw our hat in the ring to become your governor, we worked really, really hard meeting Nebraskans across the state eyeball to eyeball. And the conversations are really, really, really consistent. People are really, it's about our kids. It's about our taxes to become more competitive. It's about agriculture. It's about agriculture, and it's about standing up and making sure that we defend our kids' values. And so very, very consistently across the state, Nebraskans are looking for people that will stand up and defend, people that will focus on growing. From my seat, I am really, really optimistic and bullish about the future of our state and about the future of agriculture, that together what we can get accomplished. It's really important for our future generations that we are working together to grow agriculture, and that we not just survive, but that we thrive. And the future, what I believe with every cell in my body, that we in agriculture are the best in the world. And I'm telling you what, we got to start bragging and start really getting our humble skin off and start bragging about what the extraordinary things that we do, from renewable fuels and growing that, and make sure that every gas tank is E15 or E30 going forward. We need to really, really get excited and continue to grow value-added agriculture. I'm a big-time believer that every bushel of corn that we export, that we put on ships and we export out of our country, we're giving our topsoil away. We need to grow agriculture so we can consume it here, whether it be in the cattle industry, dairy, chicken, Mark, even pigs, right? Even pig industry, to continue to create value, and together to come together so that we can do further processing and keep all the values right here with Nebraska families. It's a really, really important thing. So I will tell you today, getting endorsed by the Nebraska Farm Bureau is incredibly exciting, because it's grassroots at its finest. We're working very, very hard in our campaign to earn vote by vote, by person, and across the state consistently. And that's why I'm so humbled to receive the Nebraska Farm Bureau endorsement, because the Nebraska Farm Bureau is grassroots people and been making an incredible difference for over 100 years. I am in awe of the leadership of Nebraska Farm Bureau. I'm in awe of the work of making sure and advocating for Nebraska farm families and ranch families. And together, I really, really look forward to making an impact for future generations, so that all of our kids can stay here and can get trained and contribute to the 21st century, and that our communities can turn the tide and start growing, because there's no question every one of our communities can grow because of the technological advancements and because of the incredible ability to compete. Let me finish with, I've been in all 93 counties in the last 10 months, and a lot of them multiple times. And I will tell you, I knew it would be an extraordinary, cool experience, but the Nebraskans, the innovation, the entrepreneurship, the risk-taking of Nebraskans, and the value that is being created is incredible. And I'm really, really excited about the next 100 days to continue to grow our grassroots. And with the endorsement of Nebraska Farm Bureau, our grassroots campaign goes to a whole nother level. And I'm very grateful, and let's go get it done. Thank you, God bless. And remember this, there's no place like Nebraska. Thank you very much.